Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. My name is Lauren.
And my name's Johnny.
And today we are going to be discussing a few tips on how you can stop spending money. We know this is difficult, but we have implemented these tips in our life and it has really helped us, and we know it's going to help you.
Let's jump right into it. So we've all heard the old adage, the old saying that you are what you eat or you are who you hang around with, and that rings true even with your finances. Unfortunately, if you hang around people that like to spend a lot of money, or perhaps they just make more money than you do and they're able to spend more money, it's going to happen and you're going to end up spending as much money as they do. It rings true, you are who you hang around with. So it's very important here is to limit your time with people who spend a lot of money, or better yet, help them. Help them learn how to stop spending money, but you have to do it together. Again, they always say, if you hang around millionaires, you're most likely in the future going to be a millionaire. It's just the way it happens. So watch who you hang around with. They are spending a lot of money. It doesn't mean you have to cut them completely out of your life, but be careful that you don't develop the same habits that they have.
And we're not saying that you have to cut these friends out of your life. Some things that you can do is have them over, do different activities that don't involve spending money. So if you're in control of that situation, the next tip we have for you guys is always plan your purchases. And you can do this with big items or even small ticket items. One way to do this is with groceries. Always have a list, either if you do online shopping or in-person shopping, of what you need to get. And it's really going to cut down on unnecessary shopping.
And a big thing that you want to plan your purchase out, a big reason why you want to do this is because what you realize is as you're planning out this purchase, you may have wanted it or thought you wanted or even thought you needed it a month ago. But as you plan it out, maybe 2 or 3 months go by, you're ready to purchase it. And you may say to yourself, you know what? I didn't need that at all. I'm not going to use it. If I would have used it, I would have bought it earlier. I have no use for it in my life. So it kind of helps you come to your senses. So plan out those even small purchases, medium purchases, especially large purchases. But it really helps you think through it, really helps you come to a conclusion on whether you actually need that item and if it's going to be useful to you. Next, we're going to talk about being content. And this is a major tip to help you stop spending money, because really that's how we spend money in the first place, right? We're not content with who we are or how we're portraying ourselves to other people. This is hard, this is difficult. We have advertisements all around us every single day. Our friends, our family on social media, people are getting new cars, new shoes, new clothes, and we want them because we think it makes us look better to other people. We think it raises our status in front of them. But if we can learn how to be content, if you take an afternoon, you sit back and you're thankful for what you already have, and if you really think about it, okay, if you go and buy that new car, those new shoes, that new clothes, those are not going to lead to your happiness. Maybe for a week or two, right? But then you come back down to the equilibrium here, and then you need to buy another thing to raise you back up to those feelings of feeling good. So it gets caught in a vicious cycle. But if you learn to be content with what you have and who you are, it allows you to stop spending money and chasing things that just make you look better to people you don't even know or really don't even care about.
And you can catch yourself saying, I'm going to be happy when. So I'm going to be happy when I get this new truck. Or I'm going to be happy when I buy this new house, get this new TV. But if we live our life like that, we are never going to be happy. We're never going to be satisfied because we're always going to be comparing our life to something we don't have.
Now, in order to know where you're spending most of your money, or how to stop spending so much money, is you need to know where you're spending it all. And this is a really good tip. You really got to keep track of where you're spending this money. Are you a habitual shopper online? Are you a habitual restaurant eater? Do you like spending on entertainment? Do you like even spending on gifts for others, but it makes you feel good? Where are you spending this money? You need to find out where you're bleeding all of this money from. Because once you can narrow this down, for example, you may realize that it becomes easy to stop spending money because all you were spending money on was 1 or 2 categories. And if you can help eliminate those, it could change your life completely and help you change your spending habits in a snap of a finger.
Hey guys, if you're liking the video, don't forget to like and subscribe and leave a comment of what you do to spend less money. And if you want another video from us, please let us know down in the comments. Let's get back to the video.
Our budget actually has different sections, and Lauren created all of this, and it actually shows where every single amount is coming from. It's color coordinated, it looks really cool. Hopefully one day we'll share it with you guys if you want to see her work. But go ahead, describe it a little more.
The way our budget is laid out, we have variable expenses, so things that change here and there. Sometimes we might go get a haircut, sometimes we might not. Really, the bulk of it is our fixed expenses. And so by going line by line through all of our statements, we were able to identify where we were bleeding. So even if it was $5 on a subscription that we forgot to cancel, we made sure to either write that down or go cancel it. So we made sure to know where every single dollar was going. And we don't necessarily do that now, so it's not a big hassle to go in every month. But we have a very good idea of where our money is going because of our good budget.
Next is kind of another mindset tip, and I love these mindset tips because you can really control a lot of your spending habits just by thinking a little differently. And this is by thinking about your future goals. Who do you want to be? Where do you want to be in 3 years, 5 years, even 6 months from now? Do you want to buy that new car? Do you want to buy that new house? Do you want to retire sooner than everybody else? When you think about those goals, you have in the forefront of your mind before you're starting to make those Amazon purchases or before you're starting to buy those new shoes, whatever it may be, and you're thinking about those and you ask yourself, will this get me to those goals? If the answer is no and you don't need that item, it's probably best you don't spend money on that. But when you change your mindset and you're thinking in this area, it really helps you to think about the future because, of course, we all want those things. But how often are you thinking about them? How often are you thinking about those future goals, the future self, your future financial self, and where you want to be? So think about your goals, write them down, put them on the refrigerator, put them on a vision board, look at them every day, and this will help you to stop spending some of your money.
So our next tip is to ditch the credit cards and use cash or debit cards. We know that you've definitely heard this advice before, but why is it useful?
Well, it's useful for many reasons. First of all, credit cards, many times, it feels like you have imaginary money, right? They give you a credit limit of $10,000 and you feel like you have $10,000, but you don't have $10,000. You don't. So it's best to get rid of them because it's easily to frivolously spend them, right? When you have that money, you can say, oh, well, you know what? I'll pay it off over the next 12 months. I'll pay it off over the next 10 months. But those interest rates are so high. Many times you hear Dave Ramsey say this and people give him a lot of flack for it. But if you're just starting out on this journey and learning to not spend your money, go take your credit cards right now if you have a problem with spending. And before this video is over, I want you to cut them up with scissors. Of course, pay them off before you do this, but cut them up with scissors. And of course, you don't even have to pay them off, but just get rid of them. Put them away, put them in a sock drawer, whatever is going to be easy for you to not spend any of that money on them.
And this doesn't mean that we don't use credit cards. We actually love credit cards. We've gone to different places for free because of credit card points. But the point is, if you're new to financial education, this is a huge tip.
Exactly. And we'll have some more videos coming up very soon explaining on how you can actually use credit cards to your advantage. They're a tool like a hammer. You can use them to your advantage. We'll have some more videos coming out soon just so we can show you what we do to travel free and to take more vacations with them.
I personally really like this next tip, and it's to unsubscribe from emails. This actually happened to me a couple weeks ago. Bath & Body Works had their annual sale, and I fell into the trap because I saw an email
and it's not an annual sale.
Yeah.
So you get the same email every week from Bath & Body Works.
Yeah, you get the same email. So yeah, if you just unsubscribe, then you don't see what sales they're having because they're always going to have one. You always trick yourself into thinking, oh, I have to do it right now because I'm going to save X amount of money. But really, you're spending money. So don't trick yourself into thinking you're saving. So if you don't see the sale, then you're most likely not going to know about it and you're not going to go spend money on that item.
Yeah, very, very good tip here. Now, I've mentioned this in probably all of my videos. We'll keep mentioning it as long as it's about spending money or living frugally, and that is willpower and self-discipline. You need these two in order to stop spending money because really at the end of the day, all you have to tell yourself is, hey, I'm going to stop spending money. But can you do it? Can you fix it in your mind to tell yourself you can stop doing it? And don't give me the excuse. Don't give yourself the excuse, more importantly, well, I can't do it. I'm not very self-disciplined. You're not born with self-discipline. You're not born with willpower. These are muscles. You exercise them, and the more you exercise them, the stronger they get. And you'll notice, too, that if you develop this self-discipline, not only is it going to help your spending habits, it's going to help your life overall. So really work on this and just tell yourself, I'm done with this. I'm done spending money. I don't want my life to be the same anymore. I'm going to change it.
And having self-discipline is really difficult, you know. It's like you said, you have to learn it. So practice doing it in every area of your life. Something that Johnny and I have started doing. We really hate doing dishes, but every single time we use an item or a dish, we try to wash it instantly.
Yep.
So now that doesn't have to do with money, but if we practice self-discipline in this little things, then we're going to be self-disciplined in the big things. It's a muscle, so we have to train it.
Yeah, exactly. Now, we've kind of touched on this before, and it kind of goes back to the budgeting aspect, but this is just to deal with cash. Again, you may hear Dave Ramsey talk about this very often with his cash envelopes, his money envelopes, but this can be very useful. When you have something that is physical, it's harder to spend. It's harder to get rid of, right? Because you see it. You feel that piece of paper leaving your hand and going to the cashier's hand. And then you're able to look in your wallet and you're able to say, man, all I got is like 30 or 40 bucks left for the rest of the week. So if you can train yourself on doing this, and again, you have to be self-disciplined with this as well because you have to limit how much money you take out. So if you just take out just enough money after you've created that budget for the week, that is all you have to spend, it could help cut down on your spending habits because you don't have a piece of plastic that can cover you for whatever you may need.
And touching on one of the points that you mentioned, you have to have that self-discipline not to take out too much money. So something that has really helped me, especially when paying off college, was when I got paid, I would put automatically the amount I wanted to save in my savings account, and I couldn't touch that. So I had a sinking fund in my checkings, and once it was at zero, then I couldn't take any more out. So really, it was the same concept. You can either take that money out as cash or leave it in your checking account. But if you have a limited amount of money to spend, then you know, regardless if you have, trouble with self-discipline, you can't go over because there's literally no more to spend.
So there you go. If you follow those tips, you're going to be a billionaire overnight. Of course, we know that's not the truth, but if you follow those tips, it'll help you stop spending money. And it'll help you live that lifestyle in the future that you want to and attain the goals that you want to. So follow these tips. Let us know again in the comments if there's any other tips you use to stop spending money. We'll have some more videos coming out soon with more frugal tips, how to not spend money, and investment tips, and some other videos as well.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.
See you guys.